Alright guys, so Cookie Alliance Season 23 has started. I tried out different teams and with the recommendation from the viewers, I have switched out a couple of the cookies and I was finally able to get Master 1. Is the team going to work for everybody? No, I'm going to tell you guys some replacement and stuff, but before we go into the cookie teams and the toppings, let me just go over the special rules right now. If you want to take advantage of this, then you need the cookies of that role. Alright, so we have charge cookies HP, charge cookies attack, as well as ambush cookies attack as well. The team that I am using doesn't use any of them. It's mainly focused on a full-on water team, except with Cream Puff as the healer here. And you guys can see that there's something a little bit different here, that we are not using a Jelly Watch, alright? This is more towards players who have a pretty good guild, pretty good promotion and ascension, and the toppings are pretty darn good. And on top of that, you do need the labs leveled up. If this is not going to be the case, then you're probably going to want to put in the Jelly Watch here and put some, damages onto your cookies. But let me go over the toppings real quick. Toppings are generally going to be very similar for a lot of the players, all right? And it's going to be 3 of the raspberry and 2 of the juicy apple jelly, all right? And that is going to be the case for right now, all 4 of these cookies right over here, from Crimson Coral to mango to sea fairy to squid ink. That is exactly what I'm using, focusing on the cooldown aspect of things. And of course, if your cookies are dying again, then you want to put in some damage resist. All right, but the good thing about Crimson Coral is that Crimson Coral is able to shield our cookies, as well as also able to give some damage resist and stuff like that. So that's really good. The robe buff is actually going on to Mango as well as our Squidding. The reason why is because Mango wants to throw out the waves fast, alright, and then Squidding wants to slap the enemies faster, alright, and get rid of those hit shield as well. We have attack speed and the cooldown focus, attack speed and cooldown focus. Sea Fairy is focusing a little bit on the cooldown, and then attack and crit if possible. And then last one is going to be Cream Puff with 4 of the Juicy Apple Jelly, 1 of the Searing Raspberry. I know some people even go with the 3 Juicy Apple Jelly, 2 Searing Raspberry. Some people go with 3 Juicy Apple Jelly, 1 Swift Chocolate, 1 Searing Raspberry. I think that really just depends on how you want to min-max everything. And then, of course, cooldown is going to be very important. A tip for you guys, if your cookies are dying, all right, even with this build and you have damage resist, then what you can do is get rid of those scythe, put in the Jelly Watch, and then switch out the Juicy Apple Jelly toppings for solid almond toppings, especially for the cookies that are melting. All right, so that you increase even more damage resist and have them survive. All right, having them survive is important because they need to use their skills and do the damage, right? So that is going to be my recommendation. If you cannot build this team and your Sea Fairy is low, all right, Sea Fairy can be switched out for someone like Black Pearl, all right? So that is an option. But if you cannot build this team at all, then a team that I will recommend is something like with the Moonlight, as well as Tartatan. And then for the tank, it's going to be someone like Hollowberry or Crimson Coral or Donut. All right, Donut is also still really good, especially with the the buff that we have going on right now, the charge cookies, right? And then within here, I would say the third DPS would be someone like Squidding again here. Always Squidding is really good in getting rid of that hit shield. And then of course we still want to have Cream Puff as the healer here. All right, and then the magic candy is definitely very important. And then for the the treasure, it'll be something like this again, where we use the scroll as well as the Jelly Watch and the robe this time around will be going on to Tartatan as well as onto Squid Ink. All right, so this is going to be a replacement team. The toppings will be very similar to raspberry solid almond or raspberry juicy apple jelly, raspberry juicy apple jelly, raspberry juicy apple jelly, raspberry juicy apple jelly, or and then or the solid almonds. And then for Cream Puff, it'll be the Juicy Apple Jelly, Searing Raspberry. All right, so it just kind of depends on what you need and what you have and what is available for you guys. So kind of adjust accordingly. But this is the team that I used, and I tried out with Donut, and my Donut was just dying. Here we go. Let's do this. This is exactly how I got to Master 1 right now. All right, so again, the good thing about Crimson Coral is Crimson Coral allows your cookies one to deal more water type damage. So our Mango, Sea Fairy, and Squid Ink are going to do more damage. Or if there's Black Pearl too, Black Pearl will do more damage too. And then we have someone like, Crimson Coral putting shield onto our cookies as well, and the extra damages too. So it just works out really, really well. And I think it's a really, really, really solid team as of right now for this particular, Cookie Alliance. But here we go. So these hit shields, all right, are annoying. That's the reason why we have Squid Ink. The hit shields are super, super annoying. Yeah. So that's the reason why in most teams, if you have Tartan, then you want to at least have Squid Ink in it. Because if you don't have Squid Ink, then the hit shields become a really, really big problem for most of us. All right, because even if you're able to do a lot of burst damage, if your cookies are not able to get rid of the hit shield, that burst damage doesn't matter because it would just negate the entire thing. So yeah, you want that hit shield to be gone with the Squid Ink. Very, very important. All right. But yeah, for sure, because of the number of water type cookies, all right, water type damage cookies that are used inside of the Cookie Alliance right now, Sea Fairy definitely had a easy, time kind of coming into the meta teams for this. So that's another good thing, and that's the reason why I say at least get your Sea Fairy Crystal Gem up by at least at least level 1, even level couple levels, it'll still work out because you're overall increasing the water type damage anyways. So it just helps out. It just helps out definitely. All right, so wave 31 here. You're going to be able to see later on that Sea Fairy actually is doing a ton of damage. Squid Ink, I think, is missing most of the damage because Sea Fairy just kills everything and then Squid Ink goes and does the slap. Alright, but... Here we go. And I think in a lot of the waves right now, the problem comes out in 58. So I had some problems in 58 with the werewolf. If your cookies are dying before, then a good thing is switching to a one-shot comp or a variation of a one-shot, like using Milky Way, Captain Caviar. You can use Dark Choco. You can use if you're not using Space Donut here, then you can use Space Donut. But having that one shot available to you not only helps you get rid of those teams or the waves quickly, but also it decreases the the time used for you to beat that. So it helps out. All right, we're closing on to level wave 50 soon. Alright, here we go. Wave 50. Alright. The Crimson Coral is so tanky though. Holy. Just so tanky. 0% damage resist. And still survives so well. If it was Space Donut would have been dead already. So like this, these hit shields right here, very, very annoying. So that's why it's really, really important for you to have someone like Squid Ink or someone like, Black Pearl to get rid of that hit shield. So even without the launch, the skill rotations, because of the distance you have between each wave, is pretty big. That if your cookies are able to do enough damage, then within the walking distance, your cooldown actually does, mainly get off. So it's not too bad. So we should be able to use Cream Puff, Crimson Coral, Mango, get rid of the wave. Now go on to wave 60 here. Sea Fairy and then Squid Ink should be able to finish this off. Oh, never mind. Not yet. Maybe this. There you go. So very close to the score that we had earlier, I think. Right? So let's see. So you can see right there, Sea Fairy doing the most damage. And then we got Mango. And then Squid Ink normally does more damage than this, but again, because of the fact that we have Sea Fairy just using the skill right before Squid Ink, that Sea Fairy is taking most of the damage, and then Squid Ink is doing like the leftover. But there you go. And I think that was the highest score. Yeah, I did go up in current rank. So there you guys go. A team you guys can try out for Season 23. And then, of course, the replacements that I've talked about here. Evens, Holliberry, Pattaya is also a replacement. If you can't get Cream Puff, then Pure Vanilla also does work out. Of course, it won't be perfect. It won't be like insane. But it's also an option for you guys to try out if you guys need to. All right, so there you guys go.